And so I put forward a specific $4 trillion deficit reduction plan. The way we do it is $2.50 for every cut. We ask for $1 of additional revenue.
The president said that he would cut the deficit by $4 trillion over 10 years. But to do that, he's already counting on about $2 trillion in deficit reduction that has been approved by him and the Republicans in Congress. He's also counting on reduced spending from winding down the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, saving about $800 billion. That money is already not going to be spent, so he's counting on savings that would have happened anyway. When you look at his budget proposal, he's actually only proposing $2 trillion in deficit reduction over the next 10 years, and most of that comes from increased taxes as opposed to reduced spending.
Obamacare is on my list. I apologize, Mr. President. I use that term with all respect, by the way. Good. Okay, good. So I'll get rid of that. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm going to stop the subsidy to PBS. Number 3, I'll make government more efficient.
Governor Romney has said that he will balance the federal budget in 8 to 10 years. But when he cites these items, they don't really add up to very much. Subsidies to PBS don't add up to nearly enough to make much of a dent in the budget deficit. Repealing Obamacare, according to the Congressional Budget Office, would actually add to the budget deficit.
Governor Romney's central economic plan calls for a $5 trillion tax cut. On top of the extension of the Bush tax cuts, that's another $1 trillion. And $2 trillion in additional military spending that the military hasn't asked for. That's $8 trillion.
President's claim that Governor Romney wants to cut taxes by $5 trillion. Now, presumably he's talking about $5 trillion over the next 10 years. That's very common in Washington. But when he says that, he's not really talking about the entirety of Governor Romney's plan. Governor Romney has proposed to reduce income tax rates by 20%, reducing the top rate from 35% to 28%, the bottom rate from 10% to 8%, and all the rates in between. If you did that, eliminating the estate tax, eliminating the alternative minimum tax, and reducing the corporate tax. There is a study by the Tax Policy Center, a Washington research group that the president likes to cite, that says that would reduce revenue to the government by $465 billion in 1 year. You put that out over 10 years, and yes, it's about $5 trillion. However, Governor Romney says he will pay for those rate reductions by eliminating unspecified tax credits, deductions, and exemptions.